Okay, so this quick little webinar is just to explain how we read programs. In particular, we are going to cover the RAPS system. So the RAPS system is a warm-up system. It stands for warm, range of motion, activation, patterns, and skills. Okay, so it can be done as a warm-up for your main block of training, or it can be done as a standalone program or session for people who are using this to complement their main sport. So for example, marathon runners, distance runners, and so forth. So here we can see the warm. W stands for warm, R stands for range of motion, A stands for activation, P stands for priority, which is going to be individual to you. So it's going to be individual to, based on the assessment that we have done. Specific is going to be based on the sport you're playing or the activity that you're competing in. And skill is going to be something that you have the autonomy to put in yourself. If there's any skill work that you want to do at the end of a session or before you actually go into your main block of training. So at the very top of this, you'll see name, the goal of the block, the subjective wellness, and so forth. That's not the priority and the objective of this chat. So we'll just move on past that. And we move into block A. So everything here in block A is a full session. So you can see here we have block A, block B, C, and D. Everything within this you do. Block B would be on a different day, block C would be a different day, and block D would be a different day or a different session. So part A, we do our warm-up. So in this case, it was to skip for 2 minutes. So once we've completed warm-up, which is skip for 2 minutes, we move down here into part B. Part B, which is range of motion, we have 3 movements, okay? We have priority 1 to 3 based off his assessment. We have humps and dumps, lying thoracic extension, and Jefferson curls. So we work 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off for 3 rounds. So essentially what we do is we do our humps and dumps for 45 seconds, rest for the remaining time, which is 15. Then we move to lying thoracic extension for 45 seconds, rest for 15. And then we do Jefferson curl for 15 seconds and rest for 45 seconds and rest for 15. We complete that 3 times for the full set. So that is the range of motion work. Once we have done the range of motion, we move down into activation, which is part C. So the activation, we just do 1 set of everything. So you can see here we have foot intrinsics, Russian hammies, and straight leg bridge. I do not have sets or reps or times or any other parameters because I want to give people the autonomy to do whatever feels right on the day. The whole goal of the activation work is to fire up and strengthen muscles that are generally weaker or weaker based off the assessment I've done on you. So if you're feeling that you need to give it some extra love or extra attention, then you have the autonomy to do that yourself. So then we move into part D, which is priority. And this will be, again, based off your assessment. Here we have single leg RDL and hamstring sliders. We have 3x3 and 3x10. So what we do with the single leg RDL is you do 1 set of 3 reps left, then 1 set of 3 reps right. Then you do 1 set of 3 left, 1 set of 3 right, 1 set of 3 left, 1 set of 3 right, and that will give you the 3x3 completed. Then you move down into the hamstring sliders. You do 1 set of 10, then you do 1 set of 10, and then you do another set of 10, and that would give you your 3 sets of 10 reps done. Once you would have completed that, you move into your specific. So in this case, it's Pallof press. He is a runner or a sports field athlete. So we wanted to do some core stabilization work, very specific for his sport. So here it's Pallof press. So he was doing 2 sets of 5 reps either side. That completes the full RAPS warm-up. On block B, he follows the very same pattern, but the exercises might change. So you can see he's got his part A, his warm-up for 2 minutes. Part B, his range of motion exercises change, but it's still 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Part C, he's got his activation work. Again, no sets, reps, or times, all up to himself, depending on how he feels on that day. Part D is his priority work. You can see he's got barbell farmers carries, 2 sets of 20 meters left and right. Then he does his Nordic curls, 3x4, and his specific work again is some core and hip activation work with his Copenhagen squeeze. So you can see he's got his block A, B, C, and D, and that is essentially how you read it. You just go from part A to part B to part C to part D, back down to the last part, completing all the sets, reps, or times within each one. That is what it looks like, okay? So just some kind of a glossary of terms. To me, sometimes I skip past this stuff because I just work off the assumption that people know this, but sets and reps are the terms that are used to describe the number of times you perform an exercise, okay? So essentially a rep is a number of times you perform the specific exercise, and a set is a number of cycles of reps that you complete. So for example, if you were doing bench press and it said 3 by 15, you would do 15 reps 3 times, essentially, okay? A block is a full package of work. So for example, block A is to be completed on day 1 of your training, block B completed on day 2, block C to completed on day 3, and block D, that shouldn't be block 4, block D should be completed on day 4, okay? So a block is the full reps, warm, range of motion, activation, patterns, and skills, all make a block. And then the tempo, I didn't actually have any tempo on that last little one, but sometimes when we're doing exercises, I will have a tempo on it, okay? So it might say, just like this one here, let's just say we're talking about squat. If we did have bodyweight squats as an exercise within the RAP system, and if I had squat written down and it said tempo 40x0, that would mean essentially that we would go down on a count of 4, you would have a 0 pause, X means up as fast and as smooth as possible, and 0 rest on top again, okay? So essentially we build we build strength and muscle on the way down, and acceleration and power on the way up. If that said, just for example, 2, 1, 2, 1, that would be 2 seconds on the way down, pause for a second, 2 seconds on the way up, and 1 second rest on top. And that essentially is how we read the RAPs or that part of the program. So I hope you found that useful. Again, if you have any questions, just contact me through the usual ways that we communicate and so forth. Okay, thanks lads.